It feels like just a few days ago we were welcoming new students to our community and giving high fives and fist bumps around the ravine. And yet suddenly here we are, the final week of fall term, with Thanksgiving right on the horizon. So today you'll hear from a few community members who wish to express gratitude or say thank you, or who wish to share their stories and who wish to celebrate. So to start us off, I would like to share a few thoughts. So when I was little, my parents went through a lengthy divorce, and my mother ultimately had to close the restaurant that my parents had owned together. Not long afterwards, when I was in kindergarten, my mother and I moved in with my grandparents. My grandmother was a lifelong homemaker, and she was happy to watch me when my mother had to work as a restaurant manager even well into the evening or late at night. So many of my childhood memories are centered around my grandmother, and she had a significant impact on who I grew up to be. Flash forward to my teenage years and my adult years, and I saw my grandmother less and less frequently. Friends, college, and then work all took priority over my time. This will happen to you too as you grow up. You'll find that weeks, months, or even years may pass between visits to your closest friends and family members. Anyway, that part's to be expected. Separate from this, although not unrelated, I get really anxious about sending thank you cards, and I never end up mailing them out to anyone, if I even write them at all. So I'm not sure how to fully explain this, except that years of nagging from my mother and my grandmother have exacerbated this anxiety and made it so much harder for me to negotiate with. That's a personal problem. As you may be able to guess, my grandmother did not receive many thank you cards from teenage or young adult me. In late winter of 2021, I got a phone call from my mother that my grandmother had had a heart attack and was already in emergency surgery. According to the cardiac surgeon, she had a 20% chance of surviving the procedure and would then face a difficult recovery. When I got the next phone call, that despite my mother's optimism and my grandmother's stubbornness, she had not awoken, I was devastated. Not only had I been robbed of the opportunity to say goodbye, but I could really only be mad at myself. I hadn't called in months. I had in fact squandered many opportunities to connect, to spend time, or to express my love and gratitude. Then, like some kind of nagging from the afterlife, I almost immediately thought of the thank you cards I hadn't sent for Christmas just 2 months before. So this is my thank you card, my thank you note to my grandmother. Thank you for reading Uncle Wiggily and Rudyard Kipling's Just So stories to me over and over again. Thank you for making me devil's food cake on my birthday. Thank you for playing games with me on long car rides to keep me entertained. Thank you for teaching me to cook. Thank you for taking me on walks in the woods and remembering our spot by the brook where we wanted to build a little house. Thank you for helping to raise another child after yours were already grown. And thank you for forgiving me for not sending this sooner. So in Derryfield tradition, we'll take a mindful minute to reflect. And today, what I ask of you is to use this moment to write a silent thank you note to someone who has been kind to you, someone who has gone out of their way for you, someone who's supported you, or just someone that you're happy to have in your life. Thank you all for that. And I hope you'll take a moment to share your thank you card with the person to whom it is addressed. And I hope you'll capitalize on life's many opportunities to connect, to spend time, and to express love and gratitude.